Published 3:46 Eastern Standard Time, the 8th of March 2018. Updated 5:12 Eastern Standard Time, the 8th of March 2018. Stars from across Italian football and beyond are in Florence for the funeral of Davide Astori, the Fiorentina captain who was found dead in his hotel room on Sunday. The 31-year-old was discovered hours before his team were scheduled to play Udinese in a Serie A match. His teammates were pictured arriving at the Santa Croce church in Florence ahead of the service, which began at 10 a.m. in Italy, while thousands of fans lined the streets and filled one of the main squares, some arriving as early as 3 hours before the funeral started. Davide Astori's coffin is carried into the Santa Croce church in Florence as thousands of fans pay their respects. The square fell silent and fans held their Fiorentina scarves aloft as Astori's coffin was carried into the Santa Croce church. Astori's funeral began around 10 a.m. local time. Fans lined the streets for 3 hours before the service started. The Fiorentina squad pictured arriving in Florence for the funeral of their captain Astori on Thursday. Astori died in his sleep at the team hotel. He leaves behind partner, Francesca Fioretti, and their 2-year-old daughter Gianluigi Buffon. Acknowledges the Fiorentina supporters in attendance as he arrives for Astori's funeral. Buffon followed the Juventus squad into the church. They flew back especially after Champions League win over Tottenham. They applauded loudly as Astori's coffin was driven past Fiorentina's Artemio Franchi Stadium. There were shouts of his name and "Grande Capitano," great captain, and a banner held up reads, "Per sempre nostro capitano," forever our captain. Gianluigi Buffon and his Juventus team flew back from London especially for the service following the Champions League victory over Tottenham on Wednesday night. Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah, a teammate of Astori at Roma, will also attend, according to reports in Italy. Venezia coach Filippo Inzaghi, best known in Italian football for his time as a player at AC Milan, was seen arriving while Inter Milan manager Luciano Spalletti led his side into the church. Mourners lined the streets around Fiorentina's stadium and applauded as Astori's coffin was driven past. Former Italy player and ex-Roma captain Francesco Totti makes his way into the church for Astori's funeral. A banner is held aloft amid a sea of Fiorentina supporters paying their respects, reading, "Forever our captain." Inter Milan manager Luciano Spalletti led his side into the church in Florence ahead of the service. Fiorentina and Cagliari, Astori's club between 2008 and 2016, announced on Tuesday that they had retired the number 13 shirt in honor of their former player. Fiorentina tweeted, "In honor of Davide Astori's memory, Cagliari and Fiorentina have decided to retire the number 13 shirt." Cagliari, having changed their Twitter handle to "Ciao Davide," added, "to honor their memory and make indelible the memory of Davide Astori." Attack Fiorentina and at Cagliari Calcio have decided to jointly withdraw the jersey with the number 13. Fiorentina announced on Sunday morning that Astori had died following a sudden illness. All of Sunday's Serie A fixtures were postponed and a day later, prosecutors opened a culpable homicide case over his death. The chief prosecutor in Udine, Antonio De Niccolò, said on Monday that a culpable homicide case, which in Britain is known as manslaughter, would be opened, but that it was a formality at this stage and that no one has a responsibility for anything. Astori, who played for Italy 14 times, leaves behind his partner, Francesca Fioretti, and their 2-year-old daughter, Filippo Inzaghi, now manager of Venezia, and Inter Milan manager Spalletti arrived for the service. Fiorentina supporters held up scarves in their traditional purple and white colors at Astori's funeral. Federico Bernardeschi of Juventus and Alessandro Florenzi of Roma arrived before Astori's funeral.